Good morning, neighbor. I'm going to read to you today Skippy Jonjones, one of America's classic reading books by Judy Schachner. And I'm going to dedicate this reading to Hayden, Keller, G-Man, Garrett, and of course, that little sweetie Kendall. Skippy Jonjones. Every morning, Skippy Jonjones woke up with the birds. And this did not please his mother at all. "Get yourself down here right now, Mr. Kitten Britches," ordered Mama Junebug Jones. "No self-respected cat ever slept with a flock of birds," she scolded, "or ate worms, or flew, or did his laundry in Mr. Doohickeys' bird bath." The lecture went on and on as usual. "You've got some serious thinking to do before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants," said his mother, "about just what it means to be a cat. Not a bird, not a mouse, or a grouse, not a moose, or a goose, not a rat or a bat. You need to think just what it means to be a Siamese cat. And stay out of your closet," she added, closing the bedroom door. But once he was alone, Skippy Jonjones began to bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. "Oh, I'm Skippy Jonjones, and I bounce on my bed, and once or 6 times I land on my head." On his way down to earth from a gigantic big bounce, Skippy Jonjones shot past his bedroom mirror. "Holy guacamole!" exclaimed Skippy Jonjones. "What was that?" So he went up again, and again it appeared. Then, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, "My ears are too big for my head. My head is too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a Chihuahua." Back on land, Skippy Jonjones climbed into his toy box and rifled through some of his old junk. And after he put on his mask and sword, he climbed onto his mouse. And Skippy Jonjones began to sing in a muy, muy soft voice. "My name is Skippito Frisquito. You must clap. I fear not a single bandito." Clap again. "My manners are mellow. I am sweet like jello. I get the job done. Yes, indeedo." Clap again. Back in the kitchen, Jujubee, Jezebel, and Jillyboo Jones were helping Mama Junebug Jones make lunch. "Can Skippy come out of his room now?" asked Jujubee. "No," answered Mama Junebug Jones. "Mr. Fluffernutter is still thinking." In fact, Skippy John wasn't even thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. With a walk into his closet, his thoughts took him down a lonesome desert road far, far away in old Mexico. Not long into his journey, a mysterioso band of Chihuahuas appeared out of the dust. "Ay caramba! Who goes there?" asked Skippy Jonjones. "We go by the name of Los Chimichangos," growled Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. "Who are you?" "I am El Skippito, the great sword fighter," said Skippy Jonjones. When the smallest of the small ones spoke up, "Why, the mosquito dude," asked Poquito Tito. "I go incognito," said Skippito. "Do you like rice and beans?" said Pitolito. "Si, I love mice and beans," said Skippito. "He might be the dog of our dreams," whispered Rosalita. "Perhaps," said Tianita, "if he knows the secret password." Leaning towards Don Diego, El Skippito half sneezed, half spoke the secret password into the Chihuahua's very large ear. "Achoo Pichu!" "Bless you," said Don Diego. "Gracias," said Skippito. "Then it is true," decried Don Diego. "Yip, yippee, yippito! It's the end of Alfredo Buzito. Skippito is here. We have nothing to fear. Adios to the bad Bumbalito." Then all of the chimichangas went crazy loco. First, they had a fiesta. Then, they took a siesta. But after waking up, the chimichangos got down to serious business. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the great Bumbalito for Skippito to see. A hush grew over the chimichangos, so great one could hear a whisper drop. "Alfredo Buzito," whispered the crowd. "El Blimpo, Bumblebito, bandito. Si, said Poquito Tito. The banditos, these are frijoles. Not your beans, cried Skippito, outraged. Si, Poquito continued. Red beans, black beans, Boston baked and blue, cocoa, coffee, kidney beans, pinto, and jelly too. And now he comes for us, Poquito added. Por qué? Asked Skippito. Because we are full of the beans too. Then Don Diego stood tall and his most somber voice declared, Yo quiero frijoles. Huh? Asked Skippito. The dude just wants his beans back, said Poquito Tito. And you are the dog for the job. Me? Asked Skippito. Then all of the chimichangos turned towards Skippito, the great sword fighter. But poor Skippito had no time for a plan, because in the blink of an eye, a gigantic shadow darkened the landscape, and the chimichangos scattered in all directions. Vamos, Skippito, or it is you, the bandito, will eato, they cried. Skippito stood his ground, but his legs shimmied and shook like the jello, and his teeth shattered like castanets. Then in a muy soft voice he said, My name is Skippito Fresquito. I fear not a single bandito. But Alfredo Bezito flew straight for Skippito until the bean-eating bandito hovered only inches away from the great sword fighter's face. Jole for joles, cried Skippito as he thrust the sword into the air. Suddenly, pop, went the bandito, landing on Skippito's sword, and quicker than one could say chihuahuas, cheese, and crackers. Every kind of bean came spilling out of Alfredo Bezito, the bumbalito bandito. Then all the doggies burst into a song. Yip, yippee, yippito. You must clap. Our hero is El Skippito. Clap again. He's the dog of our dreams who delivered the beans. And now we can make our burritos. But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from Skippy John's room that Mama Junebug Jones and the girls just had to find out what was going on. They raced down the hall to the kitty boy's room. Banguito, Crashito, Papito, Skippito. Just in time to see Skippy John Jones' closet exploding. Then out flew Candy, Beanbag, Doggies, and the kitty boy with his birthday piñata on his head. Skippy John Jones, cried everyone. Holy muchachitas, said in a muy soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted up Skippito, and Skippy John and covered his head with furry, purry kisses. What am I going to do with you, Mr. Cocoa Bugs? She scolded. That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, Skippy John began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I am Skippy John Jones with a mind of my own, and I'll bounce on my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but let's forget about that. Say good night, Skippy John Jones, called his mama. Buenos noches, mis amigos, said Skippy John Jones. The end.